Hello everyone, Time to Grind here, and to finish off the award season on this channel, since we are in 2021, I wanted to go over my top 10 most anticipated games of 2021. And keep in mind, it's kind of hard to rank these based off of just personal preference of like how hyped I am for each game, and I tried to look up as many games as possible that I knew were coming up, but I definitely have missed some out. So if you are super excited for a game that's coming out in 2021, definitely let me know in the comments down below. But let's just jump right into it. Number 10 on my list is Minute of Islands, and Minute of Islands is a game I don't know too much about. I do know it is a narrative-driven puzzle platformer, and the art style reminds me a lot of Adventure Time, and that was mainly my biggest, attraction to the game at first was, I love Adventure Time, have a lot of nostalgia for it, so a game in that art style really seems awesome, especially if it has a good story and some good puzzles and stuff like that. Number 9 on my list is Battlefield 2021, and that's at least what it's being called for now, and it's pretty much just the newest game in the Battlefield series. And I am a huge first-person shooter player. I play a lot of Call of Duty, and back in the day I played a lot of Battlefield. Recently, Battlefield hasn't been the most exciting for me. I've enjoyed my time here and there, but I'm really interested to see what Battlefield 2021 does to kind of innovate and, bring things back, because apparently they're trying to, bring Battlefield back, which obviously they're going to do every time. But even if it's not the best, I'm sure I'll have a decent amount of time with it, and I'm overall just very interested to see if it can rejuvenate the Battlefield franchise, at least for me personally. So that's why it's number 9 on my list. Number 8 on my list is Deathloop, and Deathloop is another FPS game, but this time it is a story-driven one made by the people that made the Dishonored franchise, and that's a really good track record of games, which is kind of exciting, but the premise is really awesome. It's two rival assassins are trapped in a time loop with each other, and so time just keeps repeating over and over and over, and that premise and the style of the game are really promising, and so that's why this is number 8 on my list. Number 7 on my list is Halo Infinite, and I have always been a huge fan of the Halo franchise, and kind of similar to Battlefield, I fell off from the series a little bit recently. I kind of got back in because of the Halo Master Chief Collection, but even though Halo Infinite has been delayed a couple of times, and there does seem to be a little development problems potentially going on with it, I am so excited to see how it turns out, especially on the PC front, because this will be the first time that a Halo game at launch comes out on PC as well, and I'm just really excited to be a part of it and just kind of see, how it goes, because just like Battlefield, it's trying to almost reinvent itself, and so for that reason, I'm really hoping that it turns out good, and I can't help but be hyped a little bit. At number 6 on my list is It Takes Two, and It Takes Two is a game I just recently discovered, but it is a 2-player co-op game that just is this magical adventure journey type thing. It's obviously meant for co-op play, so I'm really wanting to play it out with my girlfriend. It seems like the perfect game to do that for, and it just seems like this wild journey that's really cute and just overall really fun. There's several different parts in the trailer that really excite me, so overall I'm just really excited to see what kind of adventure the game, brings out to people. Number 5 on my list is Hogwarts Legacy, and overall I have just been a really big Harry Potter nerd, especially since I was young. I read all the books and stuff like that, so an open world action RPG where you get to go be in Hogwarts in the 1800s and discover all the magic and take all the classes and stuff like that sounds insanely fun to me, and it seems really promising from the kind of things that have been leaked here and there, so overall I'm super hyped to see how this turns out, and overall I'm so hyped. Number 4 on my list is LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. And when I was a kid, I played so much of the original LEGO Star Wars games, and I know that they made, even more of them that I never played. So to have something that takes all 9 Saga films of like the LEGO games and puts them all together in a remastering that lets you play them in any order at any time sounds incredibly fun to me. And the LEGO Star Wars games, just LEGO games in general, have a really good track record. So overall, I am so hyped to just sink hundreds of hours and reliving some nostalgia I have for the old campaigns and playing some of the new ones that I haven't played. Overall, I'm just really excited and cannot wait for it to come out. Number 3 on my list is Back 4 Blood, and if you haven't heard of Back 4 Blood, it is pretty much Left 4 Dead 3. So the original developers of Left 4 Dead games, Turtle Rock Studios, they went on to try to make Evolve, and that didn't do very well. So they are making Back 4 Blood, which is pretty much a spiritual successor to the Left 4 Dead games. I love how it still has the 4 in the title. And overall, I am just so excited for it. I love Left 4 Dead. It has some of the best zombie gameplay, in my personal opinion, and so I've wanted Left 4 Dead 3 for a while. This is pretty much Left 4 Dead 3, so it's hard to not be hyped for. Number 2 on my list might surprise some of you guys because I don't cover too many of these types of games on my channel, but it is a 4X game like Civilization. It's made by Amplitude Studios, which are the people that make the Endless franchise, so Dungeon of the Endless, Endless Legend, and some other awesome games, but it is their take on like a, Civilization. They've made some other 4X games that were more fantasy in the Endless franchise, but this is their kind of like Civilization competitor. But what's really awesome about this game is it just has so many features that I really think are going to be fun. It seems a lot more gamey. You're constantly switching which leaders you have. There's random events that pop out at times that, depending on how you answer, affect, your civilization, kind of like Crusader Kings. And just for all of these reasons, I just cannot wait to play it solo and with some friends. I love 4X games secretly, played a lot of Civilization in the past, and this just seems like the new best Civilization in my opinion. So, I'm going to try it out. Hopefully it turns out as good as it looks, but I am insanely hyped for it, so that is why it's number 2 on my list. And the number 1 most anticipated game of 2021 for me is technically not even a game itself. It's The Binding of Isaac Repentance, which is just the newest expansion for The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. And before you get all angry that I'm cheating on the number 1 game on the list, The Binding of Isaac Repentance, the expansion, is apparently so large that it's practically just bigger than a sequel even would be. And so, The Binding of Isaac, the first one I've played like 400 hours in. Rebirth I've spent like 600 hours in. It's easily the roguelite that I have spent the most time in. I have such a soft spot for The Binding of Isaac, one of probably easily in my top 3 best roguelites of all time, if not the best roguelite of all time. And so for an expansion to come out that is just sequel-like size is incredible to me. I know it takes a really popular mod, Anti-Birth, and just adds a lot of new stuff to it. I cannot wait. I'm probably going to drop like 200 hours in it. Expect several streams just on The Binding of Isaac Repentance in itself, because I'm going to be playing it non-stop. So for that reason, I had to cheat and put it at number 1 because, it is so incredible. Also, I definitely have to mention Hollow Knight Silksong, because I didn't put it on this list because it technically isn't guaranteed to come out in 2021. We don't know when it's going to come out, but it's the sequel to Hollow Knight, one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm so hyped for it, but I didn't want to put it on this list because, like I said, don't know if it's going to come out this year, but I had to just give that a shout out as well because I am so hyped for that. But overall, guys, I know I didn't even scratch the surface on all of the awesome games that are going to be coming out in 2021, so if you are hyped for any game that's coming out next year or even beyond, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know if there's any games that I'm missing out that I potentially should cover on this channel in the future. And also, thank you guys so much for watching this last video in the award season on this channel. If you haven't seen, I made a top 10 best games of 2020 in my opinion video, and I also made a top 10 best roguelites and roguelikes of 2020 in particular, because I cover so many, roguelites on this channel, had to give it its own video. So if you haven't seen either one of the first 2 videos this award season on the channel, definitely check those out. And if you've seen all 3 of them now, thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this little award season. Let me know if you overall liked it so it can be something I do next year. And I am so excited to be making videos for you guys here here in 2021. We're going to do amazing things for this channel, and I'm really, really excited to see where we take things. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all more than anything, and I'll see you next time.